A stepmother got 25 years for starving a child to death. But his own father, who was caught on video mocking that same child for begging for bread, walked out of court a free man. How does a jury look at that evidence and say, not guilty? The answer will leave you speechless. Benjamin Cervera, known to everyone as Benji, was born on September 28, 2016 in San Antonio, Texas. His parents were Erica Flores and Brandon Lee Cervera. He was an energetic little boy who adored Spider-Man and Paw Patrol, and he had an older brother named Brandon Jr. Before Benji reached his first birthday, his parents separated and began sharing custody. That arrangement was never smooth. In late 2017, Brandon posted online that Erica would drop the boys off, but then disappear when it was time to take them back, even turning off her phone. By mid-2018, the accusations flipped. Brandon claimed Erica was keeping the children from him and ignoring his calls. Around that same period, Brandon appeared preoccupied with pursuing new romantic relationships. Yet, by early 2019, his social media shifted again. He posted proud photographs of himself with both sons, declaring that he did not need a woman as long as he had his boys. From the outside, Brandon looked like a devoted father. During 2019, the boys' mother lost custody entirely, which meant Brandon now had full legal and physical care of Benji and Brandon Jr. Then, in February 2020, Brandon met Miranda Casares. They started dating quickly, and Miranda moved into the apartment where Brandon lived with his sons. She brought a child from a previous relationship, and that child joined the household too. In January 2021, Brandon and Miranda welcomed a baby girl named Mariah. After that, Miranda stayed home every day with all the children while Brandon went to work. The family appeared to be settling into a new routine, but on the morning of August 17, 2021, everything collapsed. At 10:45 a.m., Brandon received a frantic call from Miranda. Benji was unresponsive, and she was rushing him to the hospital. Brandon raced desperately toward the emergency room, but he never made it in time. At 11:32 a.m., medical staff stopped their efforts and pronounced the 4-year-old dead. The moment Benji arrived at the ER, hospital staff recognized severe red flags. He weighed only 28 pounds, far too little for a child approaching his 5th birthday. His body was covered in bruises and open wounds, and he was still wearing a disposable diaper, which was unusual for a boy his age. Doctors quickly determined that starvation was the primary cause of his death. They also noticed the sheer number of injuries across his small frame and immediately contacted law enforcement. Police arrived and interviewed Brandon and Miranda separately. Brandon offered a disturbing explanation. He claimed every single injury on Benji was self-inflicted. He even insisted that a relative had a cell phone video proving that theory. Meanwhile, detectives obtained a search warrant for the apartment. What they found inside would dismantle any notion that Benji had accidentally harmed himself. The kitchen told a story of deliberate cruelty, and the boy's bedroom held evidence of isolation and neglect that no child should ever endure. Inside the apartment, detectives discovered that the pantry, kitchen cabinets, and refrigerator were all secured with external locks. Those locks had been installed specifically to stop Benji from accessing any food. They also found a lock on the outside of Benji's bedroom door. When they opened that door, they saw a room that contained almost nothing except a mattress soaked heavily in urine. Despite this overwhelming physical evidence, neither Brandon nor Miranda faced arrest for another 6 full months. Authorities waited until the autopsy report was finalized and officially ruled the death a homicide by starvation. Only then did the legal system move forward. During that waiting period, investigators continued examining digital evidence. They recovered multiple videos from Miranda's phone that showed Benji begging desperately for bread, water, or milk. In clips taken just days before he died, the child could be heard crying and pleading with his father to feed him. Those recordings would become central to the prosecution's case. More videos surfaced from Brandon's own phone. In one, Brandon cruelly told Benji that if he kept asking for bread, he would have to do squat exercises. In another, Brandon shouted directly at his son, "Let's see you cry for more bread." The security cameras installed throughout the home provided additional damning footage. Those cameras captured Benji, locked alone in his bedroom for extended periods. They also recorded the little boy sneaking into the kitchen late at night, opening cabinets in the fridge, desperately searching for anything edible. Earlier footage showed Benji successfully grabbing snacks, but later recordings proved that the locks had been added after that incident, deliberately cutting off his last avenue to find food. Text messages between Brandon and Miranda added another layer of evidence. In one exchange, Brandon instructed Miranda to give Benji only bread and then declared that the child did not need dinner at all. The parents were systematically removing every opportunity for their son to eat. Starvation was not the only form of torture Benji endured. Detectives uncovered evidence that Miranda had forced the boy to consume hand sanitizer, hot sauce, and even urine. She also made him eat slices of bread that had been dropped onto dirty floors. The abuse was relentless and calculated. Yet there was a moment when outside intervention could have saved him. Just weeks before his death, sheriff's deputies responded to a welfare check at that very apartment. Body cam footage from that visit showed Benji looking extremely thin, with 2 black eyes, bruises covering his body, and a visible injury to his ear. When questioned, Brandon and Miranda claimed the boy had behavioral issues and frequently banged his head against walls and floors. They also said he poked his own eyes and ears. They assured officers that doctor's appointments were already scheduled, just not yet. The deputies accepted those explanations without further investigation. During that welfare check, officers separated Benji from his parents and spoke to him alone in the bathroom. They asked how he had gotten his injuries, hoping the child would tell the truth. But Benji repeated exactly what Brandon and Miranda had coached him to say, that he had hurt himself. EMS checked him over briefly, found no immediate life-threatening condition, and cleared him. The deputies then left the home. One officer later claimed they filed a report with Child Protective Services, but no investigation appears to have been launched. The body cam footage also showed Benji asking his father for food multiple times during the visit. Each time, Brandon simply told him to wait. The locks on the kitchen cabinets and refrigerator were visible in the background, yet nobody questioned them. The system had a clear opportunity to remove Benji from that house, and it failed completely. Weeks later, that same little boy was dead from starvation. Miranda Caceres went on trial in April 2024. Her defense team tried to shift all responsibility onto Brandon, claiming he had installed the locks and physically disciplined Benji. Miranda herself testified that she only recorded Benji begging to show Child Protective Services and to force Brandon to help more at home. Benji's older brother, Brandon Jr., took the stand and gave devastating testimony. He said Miranda had hurt Benji, made him eat hand sanitizer and hot sauce, thrown him into the air without catching him, and forced him to eat food off the bathroom floor, using only his mouth. Even Miranda's own mother, Elise, testified, and during that testimony, it emerged that Elise had sent a photo of an adult wearing a diaper to mock Benji. Text messages between Miranda and her mother revealed Miranda complaining bitterly about the boy and admitting she withheld food. When confronted, Miranda denied sending those texts and blamed Brandon. The jury saw through every lie. After less than 1 hour of deliberation, the jury convicted Miranda of injury to a child causing serious bodily injury. She received a 25-year prison sentence. Brandon's trial followed in September on the identical charge. His defense argued that he was at work for 8 to 10 hours daily and therefore could not have known what Miranda did at home. They also hired medical experts who claimed Benji did not actually die from starvation, suggesting instead that undiagnosed diabetes, seizures, or autism were responsible, claims that directly contradicted the official autopsy. Brandon testified that he had been planning to leave Miranda because of their arguments over how she treated Benji, which proved he was aware of the abuse. He also insisted the kitchen locks were never actually engaged and that Benji always had access to food. After 7 days of testimony and 7 hours of jury deliberation, the panel returned a verdict that shocked everyone following the case. Benji Cervera was found not guilty. The jury acquitted him entirely. Following that decision, Brandon spoke publicly and said he regretted not telling Benji he loved him on that final day. He claimed his only mistake had been working too much and focusing on being a provider instead of being present. He insisted he was a hardworking father who loved his children. Meanwhile, Benji's mother posted on Facebook that Brandon Jr. was now living with an aunt, and she was fighting to regain custody of her surviving son. The outcome of this case is deeply troubling. Brandon knew Miranda was mistreating Benji. He admitted to arguing with her about it. Text messages proved he withheld food. Videos showed him mocking his own starving child. Yet he walks free today, still raising other children. Miranda is behind bars for 25 years, but the man who enabled every act of cruelty faces no punishment at all. Justice for Benji remains incomplete.